Hi everyone, it's been so good to see you all this week. So this was our third week in which we began setting goals for our first project ahead. And in this tutorial, I'm going to go through some of the things we've done together and went over. So first of all, what's our learning objective? So yes, our learning objective has been setting what are called SMART goals. But what are SMART goals we discussed? Yes, we considered that SMART is an acronym. So do you remember, guys, what an acronym is? Yes, so an acronym is a word in which each letter stands for something. So like we went through in our lesson, they can be very handy for creating really fun poems. So we use the example of our own names to create acronyms for each other. So let's have another example here. So if I was to make an acronym, a poem with my name. So my name here is an acronym and I'm going to write a poem with it, just like we practiced in lesson. So with A, I could start my sentence off to say, a fun thing to do would be to swim to a beach. Having and see ice cream. And so I've just used a shorthand for and there. And building a sandcastle oh, the fun I could have, explanation mark. So I've started off with capital letters each sentence and ended with punctuation. So a fun thing to do would be to, comma, and then this here. I think I should have actually a semicolon here. So yeah, that's it, guys. There I've used my name as an acronym, just as we did in lesson with each other's names. So in this case, guys, we're working with SMART. And as we discussed in lesson, a SMART goal is simply as a simple goal, as we mentioned in lesson. So we came up with some simple goals. It's a simple goal that's just made a bit more specific. It's made measurable. And as we discussed, a measurable goal is when we give it steps. So we give it actions in order to be able to achieve it. And again, achieve it. That's what attainable means. So as we went through in lesson, what does attainable mean? It simply means achievable, something that we can reach, a target that we can reach, one that we can achieve. And we do that by setting steps and actions which we can complete to reach our goal. So our goal, for it to be very effective, for it to be quite effective for us and to help us, would be relevant to us. Yeah. So it's somewhat relevant to our interests and to what we are doing, and timely. As we discussed, that's putting a time scale to it. So if I wanted to become better at reading, I might decide to read more fiction books. So I might begin by reading one fiction book a week, And then my second step might be to read both one non-fiction and one fiction a week. So putting a time scale to it. But as we went through in lesson, we will begin with a basic goal and then come back to SMART goals and convert our basic goal to a SMART goal. So let's see. So as you guys so beautifully read back to me, this was our task. So thank you again for volunteering. For those of you who volunteered to read this, and the rest of you guys. So thank you for volunteering to read this. So this was our task. Did you know that the simple act of writing down your goals makes it more likely you will achieve them? But you also need to write goals you can. So for our tutorial, I'll read this back to us. So this was our task in simple. It's what we've just been talking about. So did you know that the simple act of writing down your goals makes it more likely you will achieve them? So guys, why do you think that is? So yep, just like you guys suggested, it's so that we can so that we've made a sort of stamp of that goal. We can remember it better. We're able to track it, and so that we're able to put down some steps to achieve it. But you also need to write goals you can measure and attain, as we just discussed with our SMART goals, as well as identify specific steps you can take to reach them. So some simple steps we can take to reach them. In this lesson, students will think about personal and academic goals. So guys, what is a personal and an academic goal? What is that? What's the difference? Can you recall? So yes, a personal goal is one that's personal to us. It will relate to our hobbies, things that we're interested in, that we enjoy doing. So it might be football. In my case, I love to cycle. So my personal goal is to get better at cycling, and my step would be to go out cycling at least once a week to achieve my goal of getting better at cycling. And as you guys so helpfully suggested, you got me thinking about locations in Islamabad where I can do that. So you mentioned that track 5, that's more for hiking. So again, guys, that's again putting a measure to my goal, going into how I'm going to go about achieving it, where I will go, etc. That there's a personal goal. An academic goal, guys, is one that is educational. So it'll be related to, for example, your schoolwork, whereas the personal will be things that you would do outside of school. There might also be things that you pursue in school, but they're personal to you, things that you might also do outside of school. Academic, though, just as you guys related this word academic to academy, which I was really impressed by, guys. So whenever we don't know a word, that's a really good strategy to use. It's related to a word that we do know, one that it sounds like perhaps, or reminds us of. So you guys mentioned academy, and what you related with the word academy was the idea that it's something that you do together. And perfect, that's quite correct. A lot of the times our academic goals are goals that we would share with our classmates. So the educational goals that will also be shared with other classmates. They may relate to maths, for example, reading, your English lessons, your Urdu lessons. So you may have goals with other classmates that you have in common. So one of the ones that came up quite often was to get better at maths. And again, an actionable task that was mentioned was to do more practice. So excellent, guys. So that's personal and academic goals. And yep, again, they will learn to write these as SMART goals. So we go on to write these as SMART goals and identify actionable tasks, just like we were giving examples of now, to complete and achieve them. So guys, to start off with, we watched this fun message from Kid President, and you guys came up with some impressive takeaways from this video, and on what he was saying, really, which was that we should all try new things and not be afraid to take the harder road, the harder option, because that is the option that we will learn more from. The easy option that we already know, but the harder task, the task we don't yet know how to do, that one we can learn quite a lot of new things from. So that was the gist of the takeaway that you guys gave me. So I was really pleased with that, how well you listened and focused and took so much from that video. So again, this idea of yet, we also looked at that in this story, I can't do that yet. So that was actually really helpful in coming up with and getting some inspiration for our goals. And so that's what we've worked on this lesson, whilst reflecting on the things we've already accomplished. We've then created some goals. So what we've done so far is came up with some short, very specific small goals, and this, guys, is the document in which we've been working on to note those goals down. So you find this in Google Classrooms in the uppermost post, yep, in learning skills. So do have a go at that, guys, coming up with a goal. So 2 short goals, one personal and one academic. Again, guys, what is academic and what is personal? So personal is something that you enjoy doing, and it won't be restricted to school. It's something you'll enjoy doing outside of school. It could be a hobby, it could be a game that you're playing even at the moment, which you'd like to reach a higher stage of. Could be a sport. It could be any number of things that you're interested in doing. So I've heard all sorts of really interesting goals from you guys relating to reading, relating to cooking even. So that was a really interesting one, and relating to football. So perfect, guys. And aside from that, guys, a short goal which is educational. So that would be, and it wouldn't necessarily be related to school, because we do also learn things outside of school, but it could very well be things that we do in school. So your maths, for example, and your English lessons, or any other subject areas that you would like to work on. So it may relate to that. So we're coming up with 2 short goals, guys, for our year ahead. So for this year, and so far I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing and the ideas that you've all been given. So you've all been really excited about this, and it's been a load of fun going over our goals. So I will see you soon, guys.